Ben, we have to say thanks to Rizzle Dizzle for our new podcast theme music.
Yay!
Let's go.
Theme music for the podcast. We don't actually have any theme music, so someone will probably make one up for us. I don't want to name any. Rachel. I hope it's Rachel that does that for the podcast.
For those of you that can't see what happens before this wonderful show is actually recorded, Mick went through like an elaborate ruse. That's the only way you can describe what this is.
It was a ruse.
I think he sent himself the file from an email address that looked like it might have been from a real person. He showed it to me on my phone and said, "No, look, I was sent a WAV file by email." And I went, "Oh, because there's no way he would waste actual time in his life that he needs for other things."
I did.
Doing that. And he just did.
So worth it. Oh, Ben's very, very poorly hidden disappointment was worth the 20 minutes of my life.
I'm really excited for what happens. I'm really excited for the next phase of Michael and Benjamin's podcast. I want theme music.
I like the theme music. Look, it's great. It's a good theme
it's
music.
Your voice.
Ben.
Yes.
Something shocking. Shocking news.
Shocking news.
Shocking news. You're going to be appalled by this. We actually haven't had any tweets this week.
Why?
I don't know.
Is the viewership down? Is this your fart from last week? Did people?
No, my fart was a hit on Reddit.
Was it? Yeah, it's surprising.
Yeah,
although given the nature of Reddit, not that shocking. Not that shocking.
No tweet this week. But in lieu of receiving any tweets, and in keeping with the fact that we're talking about Irishmen in space, I have seen Alien Covenant. Well, I'd been saying Alien Covenant.
Ooh,
but then
British.
Is it?
Covenant. Yeah.
But in the movie they say Covenant, so
Covenant.
I've changed to Covenant now.
It's the Covenant.
So I've seen Alien Covenant. Ask me about it. Ask me what I thought of it.
What do you think of it?
don't do the voice.
What do you think of it? What do you think of it?
Well, look, it's fine. It's a movie, but
it's a movie.
It's a movie. It's probably marginally better than 2017 Saban's Power Rangers.
Oh, okay, so it's a little bit higher on the Saban Power Ranger quality scale.
A little bit.
2017 Saban Power Rangers quality scale.
Exactly, not Power Rangers in space.
The original Power Rangers was excellent, and we'll get into it.
Look, here's the way. You know this about me, right? I'm a recovered former scientist.
You are. You survived quite well, though.
I survived well.
What are you, 10 years?
I reformed. I'm 10 years clean. Yeah. I haven't touched a beaker in 10 years. I haven't pipetted anything.
And given the amount of beakers that we actually deal with in Texas, which is a surprising amount.
Anyway, look. Everyone in the movie is a dope.
Like a bleeding dope.
A bleeding dope.
Dope.
They shouldn't have called it Alien Covenant. They should have called it Dopes in Space.
Planks in Space.
Oh, it's just they're such idiots.
So many dopes.
It's hard to maintain. I'm trying not to swear too much, but
you should see it. His face is matching the colour of his beard, which is very red.
That's racist.
It's not racist.
It is
it's
racist. Leave me alone. Stop picking on me. I'm on edge from the dopes. There were too many dopes. Look, they're on the planet. Sure. They go to the planet because they're idiots. Dopes. And then they land on the planet. And, look, when you're watching this type of film, if you're watching a film about people following logical safety procedures,
which is what people would do
in real life
if they were travelling through
exactly
the planet.
Right? If they weren't dopes. I nearly broke my pencil.
You did. Very uncomfortable tension in this room right now.
Anyway, look, if you were watching a film about people not being idiots, it wouldn't be
in that category,
right? But if you think about Alien 1,
okay,
it's not called Alien 1. That's a stupid name. Alien. Yeah. In Alien, one person does something stupid. Is it John Hurt?
John Hurt does the stupid. No, it's not John.
Isn't it John Hurt?
I think John Hurt is the unfortunate person who
No,
has the consequence of this stupid act, but I don't think it's...
But doesn't he put his face over the egg?
He does. That's what it is.
That's the stupid thing.
He leans right over the damn thing. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" It's like in the movies where they stare down the barrel of the gun. Like,
and then exactly, and then after that, it's a series of people unprepared for the situation they're in, desperately trying to deal with it, and it's terrifying, and horrifying. Covenant is just constantly people doing fucking idiotic things.
Stare down the barrel of guns. Left,
just,
right, and centre.
It's so idiotic. They're on the planet. You've seen Prometheus?
I have.
My brother's favourite film.
Your brother's favourite film? Ah, Jesus. When are we going to have Mick's brother on the podcast?
We're going to get my brother on the podcast to defend why Prometheus is his favourite film. Absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
It's going to be great. We'll do that someday. But, look. What am I saying? Yes. They find these things, okay? And they're they look like an earth puff fungus thing. Have you ever seen one of those things?
Yolk.
They blow spores in the air.
Yeah.
So they come across these things, and they spoilers, very mild spoilers, they get infected by the things, right?
Not shocking.
No, obviously. But they're on a bloody alien planet, and they get their face as close to the bloody thing as possible, and then poke it with their fingers, and then the spores come out, and they look at it like, oh, there's some spores. Wonder
that's not how scientists behave.
It's nothing to do with scientists. Look, as a former scientist, speaking as a recovered scientist,
10
years recovered.
Congratulations.
There are plenty of dopes in science.
Are there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just shattered my illusions.
Being a scientist doesn't make you immune to doing stupid things.
There are orgies, though, aren't there?
No.
No, there's not.
No. Well, maybe there were. I wasn't invited. When I did science, Ben, I looked like one of the members of renowned 90s Glaswegian pop rock band The Proclaimers. Did
you wear glasses at some point?
I wore glasses and
I
wore glasses.
Oh, it's going up on the Twitter page. We're going to find them.
Spiky blonde hair, glasses.
Spiky blonde hair, glasses, and no beard. And I was always singing about walking 1,000 miles.
No beard. Stop talking about me. We're giving out about Covenant.
Back to dopes.
So, right, look, if I came across a spore fungus like that in flippin' Spain,
you would have adjusted your hair and not poked it.
Leave the hair alone. Lay off the hair. I swear, I'm coming for you. I'm coming right across this table and I'm going to take you out. So yeah, look, if I found one of those things in Spain or in France, I wouldn't poke the thing. Okay. Alien planet. Why did they poke it? Don't poke the fungus. You're not supposed to poke the fungus.
Don't poke the fungus. And title of the podcast this week.
Another thing, right? I don't know if you know this about me. My absolute favourite genre is creepy things happening in space.
Cosmic horror kind of leanings. Not entirely cosmic. But
it doesn't have to be cosmic. You know what my favourite underrated movie of all time is?
Do tell.
Event Horizon.
I haven't seen it.
Get out of here. Event Horizon, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That's your homework.
Still haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, by the way. God. Just a quick update for those of you on tenterhooks.
Marvel Ireland. Again, if you could send Ben tickets for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, he'd really
also want to send me Zoe Saldana's phone number.
Yeah, don't kick the table, Ben.
Sorry, kick the table there, gang. That little disruption there. I'll try and edit it out later.
Isn't Zoe Saldana, she's in Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yes, I know.
Wouldn't that be a little embarrassing to call
have not
her?
Seen her movie?
Yeah.
No, because then I can get her to show it to me. We can go together.
Hey,
it'd be great.
Hey there, do you want to go see your movie with me?
Hey Zoe, listen, just wrap up the podcast. You know the podcast. Still haven't seen your movie. I know, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. Do I want to go with you right now, Zoe? I mean, I've got nothing else on. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Speaking of lovely ladies, Ben.
Ooh.
Wonder Woman. No.
You have to do it. It's 70s Linda Carter Wonder Woman. It went right up over the spike too. It was quite high.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. Yes, the new trailer launched 6 days ago.
Yeah, new, relatively new.
I mean, it's new. It's just a combination of all the old trailers with a couple of extra things put in.
Bit more plotty.
I think they wrecked it.
You think?
I think they were doing quite well on the no plot points given away.
Right.
I think they were doing very well on no plot points given away. And I think this one has filled in too many blanks.
Yeah.
I think it filled in too many blanks. Also, we moved from the thing that annoyed me about it the most was we moved from quite slick fight scenes that were very Wonder Woman central to a lot of superhero leaping and slow motioning.
Yeah.
And Zack Schneidering.
Oh no.
Schneidering.
Is Schneider directing this?
He's not, but they're keeping his aesthetic because it's the core aesthetic that they're using. And his core aesthetic is, it'll be much better if we just slow it down.
Well,
and so they slow everything down, and I don't understand why they do that.
Well, remember Watchmen? Coach Clive liked Watchmen.
Coach Clive liked Watchmen, but there's very, very little slow motion in that Silk Spectre Night Owl thing. Whereas if you look at some of the other scenes in that movie, which, no disrespect to Coach Clive's opinion of the original fight scene, but the overall movie, not so good.
It is good.
It's not great.
It's great.
It's not great.
It is great.
In terms of frame-by-frame adaptations being absolutely truthful to the comic, apart from the ending, spoilers, but it came out in 2009, get over. They completely changed the ending of the movie from the comic books to the thing, but other than that, they do quite a decent job of translating every single panel.
It's great.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
Well, anyway, the wonderful thing that Zack Snyder does and pioneered is where he allows the fight scene to move at a perfect pace, and then right before a moment of impact, for example, when Ozymandias, I always get that wrong.
Speaking of Ozymandias,
okay.
someone quotes the bloody poem in Alien Covenant.
Oh,
I know. I know.
There should really be like a list, like a ban list for certain things done in movies.
It's a bit well trodden, isn't it?
Leaning your face over the egg. Alexander wept. That crap.
Oh no, he's leant his face over the egg.
Oh no, it's gonna go. My father gave me this pistol when I was younger. Oh, well, that won't be important later in the movie.
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun, yeah.
Covenant is full of Chekhov's guns.
Of course it is.
It might be that I've seen too many movies, but it's very hard not to go, oh, well, that's going to come in handy later. Fassbender.
I refuse to blame ourselves for the fact that we've seen too many movies. I think it's Hollywood's fault that they're not pandering to us.
We can hardly blame you.
I haven't seen enough movies.
You haven't seen most movies, as it turns out.
Still waiting.
Anyway,
free all week.
What are we talking about? Why are we talking about Covenant again?
Wonder Woman! No. And I was talking about Zack Snyder. In all the fight scenes that he does, he moves it at a perfectly normal pace, and he freezes right before impact to make everything kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it slows it down.
And then
he takes up the momentum out of stuff. And the new trailer for Wonder Woman does the exact... There's a lot of people put through windows.
There are a lot of people
put through windows.
She does a nice flying knee, though.
The flying... I have nothing bad to say about Gal Gadot. We've seen a lot of her choreographed stuff in the previous trailers, the teaser trailers. I think she moves quite well. I think it's an interesting, different superhero style. I think it's very smooth, not unlike the Watchman stuff, the good Watchman stuff. But then, a lot of putting people through windows.
Yeah, well, windows. There were a lot of windows in World War One.
There were a lot of windows in World War One.
More windows.
It is World War One, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It just, to me, it just looks like Captain Wonder. No, that's not good. Wonder Captain. No, you can't really combine
Captain
these.
Woman.
Captain Woman.
Captain Woman.
Captain Woman. She even throws a shield at someone.
There's a shield.
Throws the shield.
There's the whole chat at the start. What if I carry a shield?
Yeah, she
Still
throws
dangerous.
a shield.
What if I carry? What about no pointy objects? Still dangerous.
She bloody throws a shield. She has a fight in an alley.
There's a little scrap in an alley.
There's a fight in an alley. There's presumably not necessarily Nazis.
There's a blonde, blue-eyed guy fighting for the Allies.
Yeah, called Chris.
Chris.
It's Captain America,
Chris,
but
Captain America, except he's not the focus.
Yeah, there's a lady now.
Yeah. No, it looks quite. I think I'm not going to give up on it yet. I was quite excited for it based on the teaser trailers. I'm not going to get my hopes too high. I don't do it with any of the DC movies. Just don't think cinematically they're there yet.
So let's summarise then, Ben, in a few words. Do you think Wonder Woman is going to save DC?
No, absolutely not. Categorically no.
Oh.
If it does save DC, the Justice League movie will just put it right back into drowning territory.
Well, I'm saying save DC, but it's not like those movies are doing financially poorly.
No, they're doing financially excellently. However, in terms of story, plot, and overall quality, they're doing atrociously.
And action figures.
Are they doing well? Action figures?
Poor. I don't know about sales, but why am I talking about action figures? Because I like action figures.
Because you love action. There's a giant wall of them. Don't try and hide it.
The DC movie action figures have come out, and they're very much in the vein of the Marvel Legends movie action figures.
Oh, okay.
But if everyone's face had melted a little bit, even the Harley Quinn one looks a bit weird. And
you think they put a lot of money in? Like she's a big earner.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you strip the paint off and you repaint it or something, it'd be good. Because often with action figures, this is something you probably don't know, Ben, because you don't like action figures as much as me.
I don't.
But often with action figures, modern action figures, the face sculpts are spectacular.
They're actually taking a look at some of them here.
But even these guys here, the face sculpts are spectacular. It's the paint, the factory paint, the Homer Simpson.
Whoever sprays them.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
It's paint that lets them down. So there's a guy on the internet, I can't remember what his name is. His name is something Cruz.
We will link it in the comments below.
Oh, he's amazing. He repaints action figures and they are spectacular. Look, if you're listening to this and you're not Ben, you probably already know who this guy is. But we'll link him anyway. It's amazing. Check him out.
Okay,
let's move on.
Cool. Moving on from there. Irishmen, suspense.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Oh.
You've skipped over our most popular segment. It's our most popular segment. And our popular segment has a theme tune. The popular segment is... Okay, here we go. Here goes the theme tune. Ben, he got something wrong. And now he's gonna admit that he got it wrong. It's Ben's Retractions. Ben's Retractions.
Ooh-ah. Yeah. So, Ben's Retractions... with its own theme music. Much to my shame. So last week...
Look, Ben, if you never say anything, you'll never get anything wrong.
I know. Well, I mean, that would defeat the purpose of a podcast.
Yeah,
really,
it would be quite dull.
Yeah, it would be quite dull if I never retracted anything. So last week I told you that Banshee, Sean Cassidy, was created by Stan Lee.
Stan Lee! Hold on, I'm Stan Lee as well. Uncanny Impressions by Mick. That's not that bad, actually.
Not a terrible Stan Lee impression. You tried to lean into your awfulness and it didn't pan out this time.
Oh.
That was a pretty decent Stan Lee impression. So, I was wrong. And the actual creator of Banshee was Roy Thomas, and the artist was Werner Roth, and he was created in 1967.
Where's Roy Thomas from?
I don't know where Roy Thomas is from, but I will take a quick look.
Give it an old Google.
Roy Thomas is from Jackson, Missouri. Okay. Still alive, 76 years old. Still going.
We'll tweet him.
We'll tweet. Look, we have a whole podcast dedicated to one of your characters. Roy, so
dedicated to giving out about one of your characters.
It's true. So maybe you could come down and we could pick your brain about why you're such a racist to our country. So yeah, that's basically what happened there.
Cool.
So that's Ben's Retraction.
Ben's Retractions.
Second retraction in 4 podcasts. 5th podcast.
This is 5th episode.
5th podcast.
5 episodes.
5 episodes.
Anyway, look. Going back to Covenant.
Sorry, yeah. Oh, really?
No, but look, I've got a segue. It's the whole thing. We've gone off track, but I had a thing. Okay. One of the best things about Covenant is that there's an Irishman in it, and he's in space.
He's sus boss.
And actually, there are 2 Irishmen in it.
2 Irishmen?
Because Fassbender plays 2 robots.
2 robots.
2 robots is the correct pronunciation of that word. He plays one as an Englishman. Well, space Englishman.
Space Englishman.
You know,
Englishman.
He's sinister and English, and he talks like that, and we have to get off the spaceship.
And everything's very calm.
And he plays the good version as an American. He's like, we're gonna get off this. Gosh damn it!
What is it with Americans casting Englishmen in villain roles? What's that about?
I don't know. Irishmen pretending to be Englishmen.
Well, but to be fair, he has the angular face of the villain. He does. It's kind of awful.
We're trying to kind of seduce Fassbender into appearing on the podcast.
That's a compliment. That's not an insult. Okay. I said the angular face of a villain.
Anyway, look, if there's anybody listening to this who isn't Irish, particularly if you're space British or space American, give Fassbender a listen. because it fits in with what we're talking about. Give old Fassy B, give him a listen. Fashti. Give him a listen and tell us, what do you think of his accent? I mean...
Yeah, by all means, please engage with us here at the podcast. We're very lonely. So we'd love to have a chat.
I'm not lonely. My life is full and eventful. Let's talk about other Irish people in space.
Other Irish people in space and pop culture as a wider lens. Well, so last week we kind of covered why we're so poorly misrepresented a lot of the time. We covered some of the good, some of the bad,
Colin Meaney,
some of the things. This time, I guess what I focused on this week, what I was taking a look at is there's a very famous series of Irish characters from different franchises,
right?
But they've all been created by the same writer, Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis is, I think, actually Northern Irish, isn't he?
I thought he was from Bray.
Is he from Bray?
I think Garth Ennis is from... Look, if you look out the window, you can see Bray.
I thought you could see Garth Ennis.
It's like Garth Ennis is standing outside my house.
Yeah. Just be like, don't say anything mean.
Get out of here, Garth!
Don't say anything mean. For God's sake, Garth.
Stop basing characters on me, you weirdo.
It does, actually, that's true. There's definitely a character that looks exactly like Mick, which we're going to touch on.
Don't touch Mick.
Don't...
Garth Ennis touched me.
It was not appropriate. Not good touch.
Let's keep this a little clean because Garth Ennis is probably on Twitter, so we might Garth Ennis.
He might give us a bit of a bashing. No, Garth Ennis creates a lot of Irish characters. There was always some. For those who don't know Garth Ennis's work, he's quite famous. He's quite big in comic books and shaped some rather huge alternative titles. His most famous and probably most successful work is Preacher.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of Preacher.
I'm doing a thing wherein I pretend I don't know about comics.
I can help you.
Thanks.
So, Preacher is...
Ben, what even is Preacher already?
Preacher is part of Vertigo. Vertigo is DC Comics' alternative mature comic line, I guess is what you would call it. And in the 90s, they had their heyday. While Marvel and DC... pushed the superhero genre like really, really hard.
Superheroes with pouches.
Superheroes with way too many pouches. Rob Liefeld.
Guns.
Shame on you.
Cyborgs.
Huge guns. Now, I mean, like, not normal guns, like torso guns. No, they also had actual biceps and things like that. And they had muscle groups that don't actually exist in the physical universe, but like they would have giant balloon men with muscles out to God knows where.
I know people like that.
And this comic book style was called heavy rendering.
Really?
Of characters, yeah. It's called the heavy render, and it's very synonymous with the 90s at this point. It was the time when sales were down from the 80s, so Marvel and DC thought that the appropriate response to this was, let's make them dark, let's make them gritty. So what they did was they took the Quentin Tarantino approach to filmmaking, which I am not against. He does it very well, but they applied it to comic books, which did not do it so well. In the 90s, you had lots of characters like Spawn, Daredevil, The Darkness, and they became very gritty. And what I mean by that is they had huge muscles, they said the word bitch a lot, they would kill people in horrific ways, a lot of disemboweling, a lot of spine snapping.
Wait a minute, I'm terribly amused by the fact that Ben thinks the way to be gritty is to say the word bitch.
This is why they won't let me into Fight Club. So
I'm gonna have a cup of tea, bitch.
I sure wish my train wasn't late, bitch. But yeah, so this was the 90s. And Vertigo actually had its heyday because they didn't really care about this ultra-violent heavy render style. They went with other things. Vertigo during the 90s brought out things like Sandman by Neil Gaiman.
That's real.
It's real what?
Is that? Oh, that's his real name.
Neil Gaiman. Yeah, Neil Gaiman. Mick will one day grow old and mature, but not today. Not today. So they brought out lots of great things, and one of the titles they brought out was Preacher. And Preacher is extremely dated at this point. I went back and read through some of the issues. Quite entertaining. Very dated, but yet very good. Probably Garth Ennis' best work. And as I said, in each one, there is usually an Irish character, and the Irish character usually plays a sort of central role, I guess.
Patriotism
in each one. Yeah, he's very patriotic. He likes to include little versions of Irish people. And in
you're a little virgin. I'm not a virgin.
I'm not a virgin. Leonard's a virgin.
I'm not a virgin. Don't say my last name. Oh, it's out now. I'm not a virgin, though.
I'll edit it out. What point?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Look, that's one each now.
So we're different on that one. But yeah, so the one that he created in this one was a vampire named Cassidy.
Fine, that's a fine name.
Cassidy, yeah. Cassidy's going around. So Sean Cassidy is Banshee, but this is a different Cassidy. Pruntius.
That's Francis.
It's Francis, yeah, with a P-R-I-O-N-A-S. It's Gaelic for Francis. So, Pruntius Cassidy was the name of this one. He fought in 1916.
Oh, God.
He was actually a deserter of the 1916 Rising, which was a big old affair here in Dublin City way back in the day. So, he's a vampire, and he's ridiculously hard drinking, loves to curse, loves to party.
So he's a horrible stereotype.
A horrible stereotype. His catchphrase is, hell yeah.
That's you.
Every time he appears on panels, he says, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And he says it, and it's spelled H-O-Y-I-Y-E-H. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's how you say
so
it.
It's a rather accurate representation of how we do actually say hell yeah. But apart from that, you have lots of phrases that are very Irish. So, like, phrases like, fame and fortune be fucked.
Irish.
I'm off to get lashed out of it.
Irish.
That kind of thing. So this pops up a lot. Anyway, as Preacher runs its course, Cassidy is revealed to be less and less a charming rogue.
Yes.
And just a bit of a prick.
Oh.
By the end, it's kind of interesting, and his character actually goes through some massive developments in a really fascinating way. So this is the first one that I wanted to bring your attention to. I don't know, how do you feel about Cassidy?
Look, I'm older than Ben, and I read Preacher when it came out, and I thought it was the most amazing thing that had ever existed in the entire universe. To be brutally honest, I didn't realise Cassidy was supposed to be Irish at first.
Okay.
I don't know when I jumped on board Preacher, and I don't know if I missed the Irishness, but I was so used to reading just weird phonetic pronunciation in comics by that stage. It didn't dawn on me that he was Irish, as opposed to just he had an accent. And I think I realised he was Irish during the 1916 episodes. I was like, oh no, he's Irish. He's Irish, and he's a horrible bollocks.
He is a horrible bollocks by the end. But it made it a really interesting character. So, this is kind of what I wanted to touch on within Garth Ennis as well. He creates these very stereotypical characters.
Garth Ennis, who's outside.
Hey Garth. And then what he does is he kind of uses them
hold on, is Garth his real name?
I can't imagine it is.
No,
it's not.
It would be
Gareth, maybe, but we've changed it to Gareth. Unless he had Australian parents. Garth is quite a common Australian name.
Yeah, he's the only Irish person I know called Garth anyway.
Yeah, I've never heard that. Ennis is quite normal.
Yeah, John Ennis, Philip Ennis.
The Ennis and Claire.
Yeah. Darren Ennis. My shifty cousin.
Your shifty cousin Darren Ennis.
Oh,
shifty Darren Ennis.
And his shillelaghs.
So yeah, his collection of polished shillelaghs. So yeah, basically, he kind of uses them then as a way of, I think interrogate is a strong verb, but
interrogating Irishness. Is that what
he interrogates Irishness using these characters because using Cassidy, it's kind of fascinating. He's very proud to be Irish, and yet the more charming and over the top he is, the more insufferable he is in many ways. And then you realise that it's a very false facade for him. He's not charming and he's not happy. He's quite
he's an old prick.
He's an old prick. Like, he's a proper old prick. And it touches on what we talked about last week, I guess, where you have that stage Irish persona, and then Irish people slowly started to adopt it. So we put that face on, but underneath it, we're not really the charming. I mean, you are, Mick, obviously. You're the charming leprechaun-esque man.
Shut up. I'm not a leprechaun. I'm not ginger. I'm not a virgin. Leave me alone.
One of those things isn't true. But
this isn't the podcast dynamic.
We are going to put up a Twitter poll, and you can tell us which one of us looks more Irish. And I am very confident that that was a hubristic statement. Everyone's going to vote me as the most Irish person
Ben,
now.
Everyone knows you're secretly English.
I am pure
Sent
English.
here to judge us. Come here. Why did I say come here? Come here. Are there any other examples?
There are other examples. So once I kind of came onto this train of thought, I was like, oh, but maybe it's a one-off for Cassidy, maybe it's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. And I started to look through his back catalogue a little bit, because I read quite a lot of Garth Ennis after Preacher. Right. I was very excited for Garth Ennis. I thought he was great. And he is.
And from Bray.
He's quite interesting as a person, possibly. He's quite interesting as a writer, but he's done that thing, kind of like Frank Miller, where he gets increasingly violent as the years go by for some reason.
He's Flanderized himself.
He has. He's become a pastiche of Ennisism, and he's kind of gone into that. But the other characters that I found are quite hilarious.
Oh, I know where we're going.
Are you familiar with 2000 AD?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Garth Ennis created Judge Dredd.
No, he did not create Judge Dredd.
I sense a retraction.
No retractions. There'll be no retraction this time. What he did do was write for 2000 AD and quite a few Judge Dredd issues. And one of the most interesting ones that he ever created.
Did he do Slain?
Yeah,
is that where you're going?
I'm not going for Slain.
Okay.
I'm not going for Slain, but we can touch on it. Absolutely, no problem at all. What he did do was, in 2000 AD's future, Ireland is a giant theme park.
Oh,
did you know this?
No.
The Irish people have taken their love of tourism, and what we did was we just turned ourselves into a giant theme park.
I didn't know that.
It's really, really interesting. And the man who is Judge Dredd's peer or equivalent in Ireland is
Judge O'Shamrock.
Judge Joyce. Judge Fintan Joyce. And Judge Fintan Joyce is responsible for justice in Éire, the theme park. So that's what it's called. And the best part is, I thought he was just being ridiculous, but he's actually using this character to really look at how Irish people depend on tourism, how we play this kind of stereotypical role and how we use it to make money and things like that. So, but the really funny thing about this thing is he spends most of his time fighting off rebellions from a group called the Sons of Éireann, who want to remove. I'm not kidding. I could not make this shit up.
Well, if you did, you'd be Garth Ennis.
I'd be Garth Ennis, and I'd probably be all right. Actually, I'd be fairly minted. But yeah, so it's really interesting. They want their cultural identity back. They don't want to whore out Irishism as a possibility. So it's really interesting. Yet Judge Joyce drinks pints of Guinness on the side. Guinness still exists in future Ireland in 2000 AD.
So but that is 2008. When does Judge Dredd live? Did he?
Oh
live
no,
in
it's
2008?
it's now the past. It's retro future at this point, but it wasn't at the time. I think it was mid 90s when this was.
That's amazing.
All kicking off. Yeah.
So wait a minute. I mean, Joyce is a loaded name as well.
Joyce is a loaded name. Ennis has admitted, I think, to referencing James Joyce.
Okay.
But there's also, I don't know how deep we want to get into that. There's another connotation for the Joyce second name in Ireland. But I think it's meant more as a literary reference
to James
Joyce.
It's not a traveller family.
Not a traveller family name.
Did you just say
traveller fan?
So Ben has just said I'm not a traveller fan.
I didn't say no. I said it's not a traveller family name.
Okay, that's all right then.
So, anyway, this seems to be a recurring theme for him in a lot of his work. And the last time that I saw it pop up was in his 2000 series called The Boys. The Boys is ridiculously over the top. It's very aggressive. It's about a group of CIA wet work specialists who basically exist.
They're damp.
They're pure damp. Pure damp. So they exist in a kind of like a Marvel universe, I guess, or a DC universe, where it's just universe. Teeming with superheroes.
Damp superheroes.
Damp superheroes, and they're going around with cloths, mopping it all up. So anyway, what they do is they take care of superheroes who jump the gun or become too
big for their boots,
aggressive and arrogant and things like that, which is a lot of superheroes, because apparently with great power comes tremendous ego.
The big dickheads.
Yeah, but there is one run on it where St. Patrick's Day is celebrated.
Oh no!
In the comic, and it's he must have some severe hatred for Patrick's Day, because one of the central characters that makes an appearance in this one is
St. Patrick himself.
No, I wish. It's a bartender who runs a bar in New York.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And he has a very strict rule on St. Patrick's Day, which is no Irish.
Oh, good.
He does not allow Irish people into his Irish bar on St. Patrick's Day.
Do you think Garth Ennis was turned away from a bar in New York?
I think possibly. It's possibly modelled on that. But for a very interesting reason. He gives this character a monologue, and the monologue is all about how he hates the occasions where Irish people are made to embrace their Irishness. And the reason that he doesn't allow people into the Irish people into the bar is because he becomes this caricature of himself.
He puts on a green hat.
He becomes Mr. Sure, have another pint. Come on, shall we just crack on? Get the tunes out there now.
Oh,
so
be God.
Be God. Sure, Jesus, I've had 16 pints. My liver's fucked, but I'll keep going.
Jesus, Gareth, would you come out from inside there? Stop standing outside just looking in the window to be sure.
So, yeah, basically.
Yeah, that was weird. Oh, I'm doing it again. Why? It's so embarrassing. I can't even do accents.
It's terrible. Anyway, basically, he uses comics and these characters quite a lot. First of all, he always portrays them as a bit of a joke. And then he always gives them a very serious kind of self-loathing element as well.
How important was that guy? What's his name? John Barman?
I don't know what his name was. I can't remember. He's not important at all. He's not recurring. But the entire comic is very self-loathing of Irish reputation. He also has several superheroes who have Irish-themed kind of personas and things like that, and they're
Shamrock Man.
The Blarney Cock actually was the name of one of the characters. I wish I was kidding. Blarney Cock was the name of one of the characters. He was ridiculously over the top, bit of a wanker. You know, usual standard Garth Ennis stuff.
What would a Captain of Ireland have as superpowers?
Giant hip flask as a shield.
Oh, racist. Yeah. A fiery red beard.
A fiery red beard.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
With green eyes.
No. Hold
green
on.
Laser eyes?
No, I'm working on something here. Fiery red beard, that'd be good. Like reverse Ghost Rider.
Reverse Ghost Rider. Everything's fine from the nose up.
Yeah, and then it's just on fire on the bottom. That's amazing. Get sketching, Ben. Get sketching.
I will have that up for the video, definitely.
That's my new internet avatar.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sold. So yeah, basically that's really what I focused on this week. It just how sometimes it can be quite a self-loathing representation of Irishness. If you haven't seen, by the way, AMC's Preacher,
Which I haven't.
They adapted it, and it stars
Tony Stark's dad.
Tony Stark's dad is in it. Yeah, the original Tony Stark's dad, not the one played by the guy from Mad Men.
No,
young Tony Stark's father from Captain America: The First Avenger.
But he wasn't the original, because old Tony Stark's dad was in Tony Stark 2.
Oh man, it's
so he was the second Tony Stark.
So who's Winter Soldier assassinated?
That's the original. That was the first one.
That was the first one. Yes, they kind of jumped around there. But young version of that guy is the guy. I can't remember his name. Dominic Cooper. Dominic Cooper.
Wait, hold on. Trivia.
Oh,
Cooper. You know what a Cooper is?
Yes, they
someone
make
who makes barrels. You know what a Fassbender is? Someone who makes barrels in Germany.
Oh man,
it all comes back to Fassbender.
I have to become a Cooper if I want my son to become an actor. Is that the logic that we're following there?
Ben Fassbender. That's
Ben
not a
Fassbender.
good name.
Benjamin Fassbender. We might get away with
Ben Fassbender.
Ben Cooper. It's very British.
Ben Cooper is very
Ben
generic.
Cooper, very British.
But yeah,
very
it's
British.
the same name. Everything comes back to Fassbender.
Everything comes back to making barrels. Yeah, so basically...
And it also stars that lady.
Ruth Negga, who is an Irish actress. She plays Southern Belle.
She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And she's Tulip O'Hare, actually. She has Irish heritage in the comic.
Yeah.
She plays Tulip O'Hare.
And
yes,
Cassidy isn't played by an Irish actor.
He isn't. He's played by a Welshman.
Yeah, and his accent's
actually alright.
It's alright.
I mean, take a look at it. There's a really great fight scene. We'll link it down below. There's a really great fight scene as an introduction to that character, and again, really plays with the notion of being very charming and roguish, hiding something else. It's really interesting. Anyway, I have talked for far too long today. Mike.
Just call me Mike. Look, whatever. It's grand. We barely know each other.
What have you got to say?
Call me whatever you want. Look, Ben, I want to give out. I'm going to give out about Joss Whedon. I said Joss. I'm really pleased with myself for getting the name right.
I always go with Josh.
I'm going to say Josh at least
I'm not
once.
giving it to him. I know he changed his name. I know it's Josh Whedon. He changed his name.
Before I look, I'm going to give out about Joss. But before I give out about Joss, let me just say I am probably more of a Joss Whedon fan than I should be. I have seen every episode of Buffy, every episode of Angel, every episode of Dollhouse.
I've seen Dollhouse. Didn't hate Dollhouse.
Dollhouse is great. Bit rapey, but
kind of.
Yeah,
Bit touch rapey.
Every episode of I have seen every episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he has only tangentially connected with. I've seen every episode of Firefly and the movie. I'm a huge Joss Whedon fan. Yeah, I liked both Avengers movies. I
completely disagree with you here. We've had this discussion before. I think the original Avengers movie is terrible.
No,
I stand by it. I'm not.
You have never told me that before.
I'm not. We've definitely had this.
No, we haven't.
Because you went ballistic at me once upon a time.
I've obviously repressed that memory because it's going to come back out.
By the way, he had no idea that he was doing a podcast with someone who hates the original.
Are you
Avengers
serious?
movie.
You hate the Avengers?
I think it's a piece.
It's the greatest movie
I do not hate
time.
the Avengers. I think the Avengers is a wonderful concept. I think that original Avengers movie is the dullest.
It's not
superhero by the numbers
the
thing.
Best movie of all time.
Seen.
No, you're ridiculous.
I think the character development is fine. I think the color correction is atrocious.
Oh, you're a bad person.
I think the pacing is off.
Stop it. You're... it's my favourite movie ever. Next week's podcast is going to be a big fight about Avengers.
It's fine,
anyway,
I'll win.
You will not.
I absolutely will.
Definitely lose.
I absolutely will.
Yeah, okay, it's on. I'm going to leap across the table. Hold your head over the egg.
It's a very small room. It's going to be a difficult manoeuvre.
Look, anyway, let me.
Sorry, yes, please.
Let's lead into this with an anecdote.
Bit of Whedon bashing. Let's do it.
Whedon bashing. Whedon and bashing. I was in the cinema. It was, let's say, May 2015. I think. Yeah, it must have been. It was May 2015.
Sure.
It was midnight.
The
cinema was pregnant with anticipation, and that's a phrase. That's a phrase that people use. It's a real phrase.
Silly.
Pregnant with anticipation. The seats were moist with perspiration.
Would you stop going to damp and moist today? What's that about?
It's the superhero thing.
Jesus.
And don't kick the table.
Sorry,
it's your one job. Not kicking the table.
Kicking the table.
Editing the videos. Anyway, sorry. Look, what am I talking about? Oh, the thing.
Pregnant anticipation.
And
moistness.
Age of Ultron started.
Not the worst.
It's not as good as the first Avengers, but look, that's an argument for a different day. Anyway, it starts. There's all the shooting and the blasting, and spoilers. It's old.
It's 2015. Get over yourselves.
Jarvis becomes Vision.
Yeah, sentient.
Yeah, it's a bit sad because we think Jarvis is dead, but then he comes back. Everything's fine. And Tony Stark needs a new AI.
Well, you would once you get rid of your old one.
Yeah, so he needs a new AI, and he's searching through his box of AIs, and he has Jocasta.
Which is a nice little nod to the comics. Jocasta was the 90s AI for...
I think he has Mainframe as well.
He has Mainframe as well?
I think he has Mainframe as well.
But my computer was about to...
barely avoided disaster there.
My computer was about to kick the bucket there.
Ben doesn't know how sockets work.
Right.
He doesn't understand...
There's a switch, apparently.
He doesn't understand that Avengers is amazing, and he's never used a socket before.
And that's how he's not calling me back. I won't give up.
Avengers is Zoe Saldana's favourite movie.
I don't want to see it with her anymore now.
You've gone off her.
Completely.
So, he I think it's Jocasta, and it might be Mainframe. But anyway,
he had a few, didn't he?
He had a few. He has a box of AIs, but he picks Friday, and he loads Friday into his super suit.
No.
And Friday says something like, "Loaded and ready, boss." And the cinema went, "Huh?"
Because it's an Irish cinema.
Well, it was a cinema in Ireland. Actually, it was interesting. There were about 50-50 Irish people and Brazilians there.
That's a common room. That's a common room breakdown in Dublin.
Thriving Brazilian comic book nerd community in Dublin,
and we love them very much.
Yeah, they're our good friends. Anyway, so there was a moment of what was that? Do that again? But it kind of slid by.
Uh-huh.
Of course, most of the Brazilians didn't notice, But the Irish people just went, huh? What was that? And then, anyway, it continues on, and Ultron starts lifting the city up into the air.
Yes. To use it as a mass extinction event.
Exactly. And Tony's flying along, and he says, Friday, give me an analysis of the situation. And she says, in the most cod Irish accent you've ever heard. Go on, cough over my bit. She says, in the most cod Irish accent you've ever heard, she says, I think your man is waiting for you in the church, boss. And every Irish person in the cinema tittered. And they went, was that real? Was that a real voice?
That's supposed to be us.
It's this thing, this boss.
Boss.
I don't
Should
know.
We all say that, like?
But you went a bit Galway.
I went full Galway. Boss.
I've never met an Irish person who pronounces the word. Look, let me do it in a few different ways.
Go on.
Right? Let's do it the way I'd say it. I would say boss.
Boss.
Let's do it in a real Dublin way. Boss. Right? Where is boss coming from?
I don't know.
It actually came up again in Alien Covenant.
But there's another boss moment.
I think it's a character who only has a single line. She says, I'm going off to the toilet, boss. And I went, oh God, is she Irish?
There are a lot of people going around Dublin saying boss that I'm not aware of.
What's going on? Anyway, then she says something
weird.
like, he's lifting the city into the air, boss. If it crashes now, it'll kill thousands. But if he lets it down any higher, global extinction. And that was it then. That was the final straw. Eruptions of laughter in the cinema. People literally slapping their thighs laughing.
Because that's not how we sound.
Oh, it's insane, right? So I'm listening to it going, is this real? What even is this? which is strange that I said that.
He's clutching his head here in the studio. He's just like,
2 years before we invented that catchphrase.
Premonition.
Oh, look, it was awful. It was just so bad. And everyone in the cinema, the people who didn't realise were just enjoying the movie. But I think it was a real weird national breakdown that you had, let's say, 150 Irish people busting their nut laughing. You had about 50 Brazilian people laughing either because they got it or they didn't get it and they were laughing anyway. And then you had maybe 75 other people going, why is everyone laughing?
So funny.
Right, so I'm watching it and I'm looking at my friends and my colleagues and my peeps. Ugh. I've never said that before.
That does not represent both podcasts. I do not approve of that message.
I was there with my peeps.
Do not approve of that message.
That's awful. Let's delete that. What you doing? What you doing there, Ben? Are we okay? Is the podcast? So I'm in the cinema with my peeps, which is the thing I say now apparently.
Yeah, we're just going to keep that now.
So I was there and I'm looking at them and they're looking at me and going, what's going on? Why is this real? And all I could think was, this is localised. That in every country, there's some feckin' stereotype doing the voice. Yeah. And so I went to see it again the next day.
Because you do that.
I do that.
He's seen, by the way, to my zero Guardians of the Galaxy, Mick has seen it twice.
I've seen it 3 times now, Benjamin.
What?
I've also seen the original Avengers.
When did you go again?
Literally 27 times.
When?
Just watch the movies, Ben.
When did you go
We're
to
doing
Guardians
a pop
of the Galaxy
culture
2 again?
On Saturday.
Why didn't you text me? What the hell?
It was sunny. You know when it's sunny, I like going to see movies. Anyway,
hang on. I'm just recovering from the fact you didn't text me for the 3rd time.
No, I texted you for the 2nd time and you wouldn't come because it was too
sunny. It was sunny. We get like 3 days of sun a year on our tiny little rock.
It was great. It's a great movie. It's really good. You're not going to commit to a fuck.
No, anyway, I like the decency we've managed to uphold so far.
Let me finish my rant.
Sorry, keep
Where
going.
was I? Yeah, so we were sure it was localised, and I was thinking to myself, I can't wait to hear the original version where Friday's American, because I thought, look, as long as they do that sometimes. They did it with a few things. They got Jonathan Ross to do a character in Shrek, I think. They revoiced a character with local celebrities instead of...
Why?
Just for localisation. Anyway, look, turns out it wasn't.
Yeah, no.
It was
an international incident.
It's international. It was a global event.
Global event.
Sure. here's the worst thing. I decided to look up who it was.
Of course.
And the actress is Irish.
No, she's not.
She is.
She's not. She doesn't sound Irish.
She's a real Irish person.
She's a real Irishman.
What's her
Irish.
What's her name? Kerry something? I've forgotten her name. No, I had notes. Hold on.
I have
notes.
Quick note flick. Ah, yeah, you've time to watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3 times.
Kerry Condon.
Time to prep your notes.
Kerry Condon.
Very Irish.
Because she is
name.
Irish.
Very
She's
Irish
from the
name.
West somewhere.
From the West, eh?
But she was in The Tudors or Rome or something.
Okay, so she's
pretty well known.
Yeah,
she appears in my favourite non-genre Irish film, which is Intermission.
Oh, yeah. Ah, yeah.
She gets a smack.
Oh, she's the one that gets the smash from
She's
the
the
Royal Villain.
From the Fowler.
Ah, from
That's
the
her.
Fowler.
That's her.
Mr. Farrell himself.
She's you know who else is in that? Colin Meaney. Great film.
Colin Meaney. Oh, we love Colin Meaney on this podcast.
Anyway, she doesn't speak like that in real life. So
she doesn't.
She's getting direction.
Oh,
And all I can think of is I'm going to have to blame Joss. I think Joss thinks real Irish people don't sound Irish enough.
So you told her to split it up?
I think he told her to Irish it up. The reason, like, I have no definite evidence of this.
Okay.
And I don't think... I'm not trying to say Joss Whedon's a racist or anything, absolutely
Thank
not.
God for that.
But I just think it's the stage. It's back to what we were talking about last week. It's the stage Irish thing that if people are expecting, the hobby to do that, and then she says, "Hold on, let me do a normal Irish woman voice,"
which would have been a bit like, here,
yeah. Well, I mean,
your man's
like,
waiting for you in the church there.
Remember as well, it wouldn't even be
Your
that. It'd
man,
be like,
no, she'd just say he's waiting in the church.
She would probably say Ultron,
Ultron's waiting in the church.
because that's what Jarvis would say. So
That is what Jarvis would
why
say.
wouldn't she say, Tony, Ultron appears to be in the church?
Yeah.
There you go. I just did that for you in an Irish accent.
Jarvis is very British.
Jarvis is exceptionally
very
British.
upper class, like very proper. Your altitude is you're losing altitude. Please adjust. This kind of thing, like
Slightly less stuttery.
slightly less. He was very smooth. Paul Bettany, he's a professional actor. He's up for a living. But but then she's so colloquial. She's just your man.
Your man's waiting for you. In Winter Soldier.
She's not Winter Soldier.
She's in Winter Soldier as he's trying to blow up the missiles. And she says, the guidance system is knackered, boss.
The guidance system is knackered.
Boss.
Oh.
I'm chewing my own hand.
Oh.
I wish Garth Ennis was here to give her a slap. Not a real woman. I'm against violence against real women.
Also, there is no evidence to suggest that Garth Ennis goes around slapping women. Just so we're clear.
But robot voices, no problem slapping them.
Garth, slap away.
So, as I said, why in Winter Soldier? No, not Winter Soldier. She's not in Winter Soldier. Civil War.
Civil War.
In Civil War, it's the Russos, so it's not Joss Whedon, but it's already established. Then
It's canon.
It's canon.
It's
So
canon.
They can't change it. But why do I think Joss Whedon did it? Is that going back to he's a terror. Going back to his other stuff, and going back to in particular Angel.
Oh yeah,
both the character and the show.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, the character of Angel.
Yeah,
he's Irish. Not a lot of people.
I did not know this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
He's Irish.
Well, 244 years ago in Limerick, I was bitten by a seductive woman.
For God's
but
sake.
You know,
there are no seductive women in Limerick. There are no seductive women.
Oh no!
In Limerick.
Oh no! Our Limerick listenership. Oh, take that, Limerick. Take that, people from Limerick.
Especially 244 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, he. But okay, look, we have David Boreanaz, and he's an American man.
Very.
And he's doing. To an extent, we can forgive him because he's doing an old-timey Irish accent.
Which is what?
Because
I didn't watch Angel.
Well, it's very hard to do it. Hold on. My name is Liam, and I'm cursed by gypsies, but in Ireland... He was cursed by gypsies.
Oh.
Also, Joss Whedon doesn't seem to think that gypsy is an offensive word. A lot of American shows don't seem to think gypsy is an offensive word.
If you do come to Dublin, don't go around calling people gypsies.
No.
It won't end well.
No, bad for the health. The waveform looks a bit different there, Ben.
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it?
This isn't too wonky.
We'll take a quick...
Let's take a quick look. Seamless intermission.
Okay, so, sorry, don't go around calling people gypsies.
Yeah, it's to be avoided. But Look, Joss Whedon, David Boreanaz, American actor, doing an old-timey Irish accent. Let's forgive it. Let's give him the benefit of the stage Irish doubt. The kind of weird one was the character of Doyle, who was only in the first 9 episodes of Angel.
Okay.
He was a demon with precognitive powers.
Oh, nice.
He was played by the somewhat tragic Glenn Quinn.
Who's Glenn Quinn?
Glenn Quinn was Irish. But
actual Irishman?
Yeah, he was an actual Irishman, but he moved to America in his youth, and he was in Roseanne for years. He was, but he was in lots of Roseanne-ish.
Character actor, kind of.
No, he was a main. I think he was like regular cast in Roseanne. He was a kid. He was a kid by that age. Okay. But he did everything in an American accent for his entire career. And if you can track down the unaired pilot of Angel, his accent is pretty realistically Irish.
That's good.
It's as Irish as you're likely to get from someone who's been living in America for that long.
Fair.
It doesn't sound, to be honest, far off of our accents.
All right.
Being as we have been so influenced by American TV and stuff over the last, let's say, 25 years. So it's pretty convincing. Then, in the actual episodes, he gets a bit more Irish.
Oh, so we start to amp up.
The Irishmen. Whedon. We thought Frank Miller was going to be the official podcast enemy, but it might be Joss Whedon.
Which would actually hurt Mick a bit, I think.
It would. I like Joss Whedon. I don't want to tweet him about this episode.
Mr. Whedon.
Mr. Whedon.
You and I can be enemies.
Yes.
But leave the Micks out of it.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Not the nation of Ireland, just the one Mick on this podcast, because we know you can't leave the Micks alone.
Anyway, yeah, so his accent does get a bit more global extinction as it goes along. Yeah. I don't think he might call someone
he definitely does.
He probably calls someone Bass.
It's a Whedonism.
Bass, that weird BA Bass. It's definitely in there at least once.
It's like, do you ever see the Paul Rudd accent?
No.
Slapping the bass.
Is that supposed to be Irish?
No, it's supposed to be Jamaican, but he goes Irish towards the end of it and he kind of admits it.
That happens.
That's the whole thing.
So it was kind of funny because Glenn Quinn said it was nice to, after years of pretending to be an American, to use his Irish accent.
Yeah.
But then I have a feeling someone stepped in and said, look, we know you're Irish, but the audience don't know you're Irish.
But how Irish do you think you can go?
Do you think you could take it up a few notches? How would you say notches if you were Irish? So, yeah, it's fine. It's like he's Irish and he drinks and he's a good guy and he's a tragic backstory and everything. And it's a fine character.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, look, it's a fine character.
It's a fine... Sure. Tis lucky he can find the work.
Tis a fine character.
He can find the work.
And if it were an isolated incident, I would be inclined to say maybe Glenn Quinn just decided to...
Maybe it was an actor's decision.
Yeah. But just with Joss Whedon's history of Irishness, I have a feeling... Look, we're going to tweet him.
Are we tweeting Joss?
We're going to tweet Joss and we're going to ask him...
Can he defend himself?
No, not to defend himself, because it's totally his decision. If he feels that Irish people have to be more Irish to read as Irish in films,
yeah, that would open up an interesting. We will make a whole episode about that. I would happily talk about that.
Let's say if you or I were in a film,
we'd probably have to amp it up a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Yeah. I've been to America.
I thought you were about to say I've been in films.
I've been to America. I've been in several films, mostly. Thanks for editing that out, Ben. Seamless edit there.
Seamless for the podcast.
See, it's catchy.
Hasn't been in any films.
What was I saying before the edit?
Joss.
Oh yeah. Look, if we appeared in a film, I don't think we would read for international film goers as Irish. I think it's too subtle, and especially for
a complimentary thing to say about us.
Especially for younger generations. I don't know what that means. Ben's giving me a hand.
We've only got about 3 minutes left.
Oh, we've only got 3 minutes. Yeah. So look, especially for younger generations, for Irish people aren't sounding as Irish as people might think they are. So yeah, I'd like. I'm going to do some more research, but I'd like to hear what Joss. Maybe he doesn't even know.
Maybe he doesn't listen to the podcast.
No.
Almost certainly. I know that's hard to believe.
Almost certainly doesn't.
I know that's hard to believe, but maybe he doesn't listen to the podcast.
There's a fairly good chance.
But no, you're right. That would actually be an extremely interesting...
I'd like to know.
Yeah, I would like to know.
That building's not cleared, boss. 10th floor. Oh. I've just written down some quotes.
Do you have any more?
Your man's in the church, boss. I think he's waiting for you. Good evening, boss. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have.
Boo.
That's all I have.
Any more Whedonisms to watch out for?
That's pretty much it. That's, off the top of the head.
Whedonism watch out.
What's the... we're pretty much done, aren't we?
Don't touch the fungus is this week's episode.
Don't touch the fungus. That's what I was going to say. More Irishmen in Space Part 2. Don't touch the fungus.
Boss.
That's too long. That's too long for a podcast title.
Alright.
Okay, Ben, well, we have to do our wrap up. What are you going to give people? What links are you going to give people? What
this week we're going to take a look at, I guess you're going to see the Cassidy fight from the Preacher thing. It's going to be down below. You're going to have a little bibliography to read through. Preacher, recommend the whole thing. Read the whole run. Really, really interesting. Read the 2 issues of the Judge Joy. Sorry, it was a 5-issue part. Actually, it was quite long. And then just read that one issue of The Boys. Don't read that whole thing.
Leave the boys alone. Okay. Also, if anyone, what did we ask people to tell us about? If anyone has any Irish people in space or otherwise that we've missed out on,
please let us know.
Or, if you are American or British, we'd like to hear from you about Fassie B's accent.
If you're American and British, or especially British, and want to talk to us about how you feel your nation is represented, villainous or not, please let us know. And
so we're on Twitter. At Mick and Ben, so you can find us there and tweet us those questions or comments.
Just tweet Mick.
And Colin Meaney, I'm so sorry, Colin Meaney, who's on Twitter, who isn't the actor. Yeah, but it's not the actor. I tweeted some guy, I think he plays GAA in Limerick or something.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm so sorry, I thought you were Colin Meaney. Okay, bye!
Bye!